For letting me see the sunshine. some mountains. Hallelujah. If you've had to overcome some mountains, that would move you. If you've been through some trials, that might make sense to you. But it's somebody in here who doesn't understand your praise. Maybe you ought to think back on your this. What do you give God praise for? What has God done for you? Not what have I done for you. Not what did your job get you. But the thing that you thought you would never get through, the thing you were worried that someone else was going to find out about you, the skeletons in your closet that God delivered you from. It's for this we give God praise. And because that's true, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praises shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make her boast unto the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. I didn't say magnify Brianna. I said, oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt God's name together. I've been 2 inches away from decapitation in a car accident, so I made a decision that every time I go into the house of the Lord, since it might be my last time, I'm going to make it my best time. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Hallelujah. And let us exalt God's name together. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be with you this morning, for your pastor, Pastor McVickers, for just considering me. I'm grateful for your friendship, for your support. I appreciate you. Sister McVicker, who you can find serving. It's so good to see you, and God bless you. You guys feel more like friends these days, so to my friends here at Christ the King, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be with you, to share with you. If you would pray with me, I believe there's a word from the Lord on this morning. That word today will come from the book of Mark, chapter 7, verses 24 through 30. And then to Sister Anita and the work that she does, to Sister Sharonda, and all, I haven't seen her this morning, and all the work that she does behind the scenes, to Reverend Amos for leading us in worship, to my friend Lawrence, who is somewhere around here. Good morning. And it reads like this: and from there he arose and went away to the region of Tyre and Sidon. And he entered a house and did not want anyone to know, yet he could not be hidden. But immediately a woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him, and came and fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile, a Syrophoenician by birth, and she begged him to cast the demon out of her daughter. And he said to her, let the little children be fed first, for it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs. But she answered him, yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. And he said to her, for this statement you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter. And she went home and found the child lying in bed, and the demon gone. God, we love you. We bless you. We believe in you, and we've come with great expectation of what you will do. God, I ask that you would help us, God, with any distraction. Remove the distractions, God. Help us to be able to hear your word so that we can be fertile ground. God, I wouldn't come without the expectation of healing, transformation, deliverance, salvation, God. You've sustained us, God, and we have expectations that you would continue to do so. So, God, do something new in this moment. Do something we've never seen before. We be careful to give you the glory which belongs to you anyway. In Jesus' name, amen. If I could share with you, the title would be this morning, what were you expecting? What were you expecting? I ordered a dress, and I needed it to arrive while I would be away. I had a gala that I was going to, and because I was going to be traveling, I had that dress sent to my mother. I called my mother, and I said, Mom, I need you to watch for this dress. I have to have this dress, because I've decided when I walk into the gala, I don't just want to enter the room. I want to take everyone's breath away. I want to slay everything walking, so I need this dress. This dress was black, it was beautiful, and women, you'll understand, it was going to make me look like I had some hips. I needed this dress, not just any black dress, but this one in particular. And my mother said she would watch for my dress. My mother's very retired, the most retired person I ever met in my life. Even when I take her to travel with me, she don't sell a book. She don't iron my clothes. She don't help me get ready. My mother is very retired, so I had to have her commit to meeting the postman to sign for this dress. My mother called me and told me the dress had come. She talked about how beautiful the dress was, how good I would look in it, and how excited I would be when I saw the dress. So I finally landed. I got home. I had to make sure I immediately went to see this dress. And so my mom goes to get the dress from out of her room, and she takes it out of the box. She holds it up with the great big smile on her face. And while my mother is gleaming, I am unfortunately disappointed. This was a black dress, and it was a beautiful black dress, but it was not the dress I had ordered. And so my mother was confused about the look on my face, and she asked me a question I would never forget. What were you expecting? We've all come to the place when we had desires that no one else seemed to know, that we didn't communicate what we were looking for, that we weren't clear about what we needed or what would make us happy. If we're honest, there are times when we haven't gotten what we wanted or deserved because we didn't set expectations. Obama was elected into office, and we were so sure that he had our community on our mind that while other people were presenting agendas, we thought he know what we need. And with no clear expectations, we received exactly what we demanded as a community, nothing. We began relationships after a dry spell. When we were in high demand, we had a list as long as my grandmother's $100 receipt from the dollar store. But as soon as the dating life found us in a drought with no expectations, we pretended like we were being less controlling, but the truth was we were so desperate that we didn't set expectations, and we got what we required, nothing. Ladies, we get to the salon and we tell the stylist that we have dreams, but we don't have expectations. We say things like, make me look pretty and make my husband think I'm sexy. And they turned us around to the mirror, and all of a sudden we're disappointed. But the truth is, the stylist don't know what you think is pretty, and she don't know what your husband like enough to give you what you're looking for. And so, with no expectations, you got whatever she dreamed for your life. And men, I'm equal opportunity. You go to the gym time and time again. You look over at the person next to you. They seem like they have a heavy weight. You pick up a heavy weight, and you decide for the next 3 months you're going to do what the person sitting next to you is doing. And then in 3 months, you're upset because you realize you've gotten nothing out of the work you've done because you set no clear expectations to get what you were looking for. The truth is, children become upset with their parents because parents just don't understand, and they be tripping and they don't want to see you great. But the truth is, you don't communicate. You tell half-truths. You don't articulate your needs, and so you get what you should expect from black parents. Nothing. We go to school with no expectations, no career in mind. We challenge professors with no expectation of what we should have learned. We challenge our grade with no expectation of what we should have earned, and we take tests with no expectation of the correct answer. We start fast because it's the time to fast, especially when we're going into a new year and with no expectations of God. We don't ask to hear from God, to see the works of God, to have guidance in a situation from God. And when we stop fasting, we say things like God didn't move, when the truth is we never even set our expectations for the fast. And before you amen a little too loud, we go to church every Sunday with no expectations. Sometimes we say things like we want a bomb choir or a good word or a nice fellowship, but we never determined what a good word really meant for us. We never had an expectation of signs and wonders to happen while we were there. We don't even come with prayer points to lift up when someone asks us how we're feeling so that we can actually say what we need from God. And as soon as things don't work, you say things like, I'm trying to look for another church because I need to go somewhere where I'm going to be fed. I want to go where God is moving. Well, the truth is you can be fed and God is still moving. But the truth is, if you have no expectations of what you'll get from God, you will continue to find yourself without what you need. Sometimes I have to be honest, even as preachers, we go to the sacred desk with no expectations. not of transformation or liberation or deliverance or encouragement or salvation. We get upset when they say they had good church and can't remember our points. But the truth is, many of us fall below the expectations that we should have from God. So parishioners will come sick with no expectation of healing, and bound with no expectation of deliverance, and impoverished with no expectation of stability, all because somewhere we were disappointed. At some point, God didn't come through the way we thought he should have. And because of that, we began to lower our expectations. We want to make God look good. We want to make it seem like God is still moving in our lives. So instead of having expectations and standing on the word of God, we let them all go and take whatever comes. But before you get to church, you should begin to pray and set expectations of what should happen. You shouldn't go any place without expecting that for God to meet you there. And wherever you think God will not go, you probably shouldn't be either. But the truth is, if we look at this text and the expectations that this woman had of God, we have to consider, what does it mean to interrupt a busy Jesus? What does it mean to try to interrupt the Jesus who is trying to rest after a long time of ministry? What does it mean? When are your prayers important enough? When do you go to God? When do you interrupt God to get a yes from God? What does it mean to be rejected by God? And how easy should a yes be from God? We have to ask the questions because this story is a familiar one to many. It's become popular because of Jesus' response. Many of us were expecting the Jesus with the woman with the issue of blood Jesus, Mary and Martha's Jesus, the Jesus who stops the funeral procession and resurrects the young boy, the Jesus who follows Jairus home to heal his daughter. And whether chronologically appropriate or not, we will always remember first the times when Jesus was sweet baby Jesus who came in clutch for us. But this time we have to wrestle with the Jesus who seems to reject this woman. We've heard many explanations of God's behavior, but the truth is many people are trying to find an explanation because it's hard to see in the text a Jesus who says no. It's the third quarter of the year, and while many people are devoting themselves to prayer or are already praying in 2020 as if we don't have work to do in 2019, we have to understand the hesitation to go before Jesus. While this woman can get in the face of Jesus, for us it would look like being before